Hello everyone, Scott Coram here, Captain's Log Supplemental. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. This is another update. There have been, as you may have noticed, some changes. Had most of this taken off. Actually went to a very nice salon at the new Del Amo Fashion Center. 18.8, a men's salon. A fine men's salon, and I will agree with that assessment, and actually had my mother, who hates all long hair, describe the kind of haircut that she wanted me to have. She was actually kind of kind. I still have some length, and it should help as I go through the next stages in my treatment for cancer, without there being that much more weight from all the extra hair, which would just become dead weight very shortly. I have a better chance of keeping more of my hair, and it'll grow back out. Likewise, I had this truncated fairly brutally. I got a good trimmer that I use to shave on a more regular basis. I'm going to keep this, but all of the follicles in this general area are probably going to some degree, fall victim to the radiation. Now that happens. So I rocked a goatee back when I got married 20 years ago. I can rock a goatee again. Perhaps the most difficult change so far, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I had all of my teeth removed. I have not made a video since then because I hate the way my voice sounds. I've been working at doing proper pronunciation and enunciation without teeth. It is about as tricky as I thought it was going to be, but practice makes perfect, so there will probably be maybe even a few more videos on a regular basis in the future. This has led to me losing about 20 pounds in the last month. Now, between my appetite not being what it used to be, and just not being able to eat as I would like. Soft foods are my friends. I can kind of mash up some crackers or cookies from time to time, but mashed potatoes, good hearty soups. If you go to Denny's and ask them to put their clam chowder in a blender, they'll do it. And that produces a very rich clam gravy that is actually pretty good and softens up toast very well. Probably because of the inability to eat due to appetite and tooth loss, my blood sugars have been plummeting. I've stopped taking one of my diabetic medications entirely, and I am constantly titrating down on my other one, my Lantus. I was taking 218 units a night, which is a lot. When the people in the hospital look at you funny, when you tell them how much Lantus you take, you're taking a lot. And I was down to 168 last night, and I'll probably be going down to 166 tonight. All of this flies out the window tomorrow. Tomorrow, February the 8th, I begin at 9 o'clock in the morning with 3 hours of chemotherapy. I have an appointment at probably one of the best places in the country to get it done. It's a lovely facility with an ocean view, a comfy recliner. I'll have my laptop with me, and I'll have some limited mobility, being able to walk around with my IV stand on wheels. I'm going to need to be able to walk around. Between now 1:30 in the afternoon when I'm recording this and when I go to bed tonight, I need to drink 3 of these. And this is full of water. This is just to get me ready for tomorrow morning, where before I go to chemo, I need to drink at least one of these and a couple of heavy electrolyte drinks. Powerade Zero is probably going to be my poison of choice there. Having all of the chemicals in my body for the chemotherapy and all the extra stuff that they're going to give me to lessen the impact of the chemotherapy, steroids to reduce the nausea, and a few things to keep my white cell count up. Having a good amount of fluid in my system will help my kidneys flush out the chemicals that would impact them negatively. I need to go in with, as the specialist put it, my kidneys nice and juicy. That's hard to say without teeth. A lot of ice water. Once I am done with 3 hours of chemotherapy tomorrow morning, I will walk from one building in the complex to another, put on some music, lay down, have a plastic mold of my face put over my face, and go through 15 or 20 minutes of gamma knife radiation therapy. The chemotherapy will happen once a week, Mondays, for the next 6 weeks. The radiation therapy is 5 days a week for the next 6 weeks. Not until both of these are done can I even contemplate getting anything like dentures, which should give my gum line and jaw structure time to settle in. Not forgetting that the reason that I did the dental surgery, the teeth removal, was because there's not going to be much healing going on in here at all once the radiation starts, and perhaps never again, really. So some hair in the area, beard follicles, my saliva glands are going to dry up. They're going to start by getting very thick, and then it's just going to be hard for me to keep myself properly lubricated. Water is going to be my friend and constant companion. I need to do exercises so that I can continue to swallow normally, because the tumor is right at the base of my tongue, right in the middle of all the muscles that allow me to swallow normally, and so those are likely to be impacted by the radiation, which is probably going to be a bit of a bummer, but I've got exercises. I can try and keep those strong. My taste buds are going to change. Now, how I taste food and what food tastes like is not going to be the same when I'm done with this. And for those of you who know me or who've seen any of my food-based posts, that's actually kind of huge. I'm a little worried about how I'm going to come out of it, but maybe if I fall a little out of love with food, not completely out of love with food, but maybe if, it's more of a casual long walks on the beach relationship rather than the constant orgy of overindulgence that I usually live with, I'll keep off the weight that I'm taking off now. Got my gym membership re-upped so I can go and, while I have the energy, try and build my body up even while I'm going through this. Water walking, and I like chest presses. Shoulders. I like shoulders. And I'm going to need something to pull up on the skin that is drooping because there isn't as much stuff behind it. And if I have my say, I'd rather that be muscle anyway. I'm going to be fine. I got a 75-80% chance of a complete remission of this by the time I'm done with this treatment. And if it doesn't clear things out 100%, it will be a relatively minor surgery to to get the last of it out. And if I can get the same anesthesiologist that I had when they did this, they were really, really good. I was terrified when I went in to have this done, I'm not going to lie. But they really worked hard at Torrance Memorial to alleviate my fears and to make sure I understood that I was fully supported from the moment I got into pre-op until the moment they got me into a room that night. So things aren't as scary as they were. It's just things are going to change. Change is inherently frightening on some level because I don't know what things are going to be like in my life that I have relied on for years. But I refuse to be a passive participant in this change. There are some things I'm going to have zero control over. You know, what effects the radiation has on the local tissues, and what things are going to taste like, and whether or not I get to keep all the rest of my hair. That's out of my hands. But how I deal with the rest of this, you know, how well I prepare for my sessions, and having my personal assistant here making sure that I am properly hydrated and pumped up for the chemo, things like that, going to the gym, going for a couple of walks a week, a little adventure down to the pier, training myself to talk without the use of my teeth, exploring what I can do dietetically, because I've got to try and keep my weight up, apparently, because they don't want the dosage to change too much. Don't have to want to recalculate things as they go through, and don't want me to lose muscle mass through this. But I have choices, I have options. I can take this passively and just see what I'm left with of myself at the end of this, or I can actively try and build on myself. If I build on myself when I've been reduced down a bit, maybe I'll have a chance to build on a stronger foundation. So, that's the end of the medical stuff for today. I'll post these more often, more comfortable and confident with my voice now, which has been my big problem. I will try and keep folks posted on how everything's going, the chemo and the radiation, and thank you for your interest. Thank you for following along on this journey.